In her first 52 years, Amelia McCoy was a happy homemaker, mom, and grandmother. Then she took $7.78, invested it into some ribbons, and turned a hobby into a $5 million business. Here's how she did it. Go on down the road about 90 miles east of Oklahoma City, and you come to the little town of Holdenville. Today, it's the world capital of homemade hair bows. The reason it's here is because of this woman, Amelia McCoy.
Hello, this is Amelia. May I help you?
14 years ago, she founded the company in Holdenville because it was her hometown. The company is called Rainbows and Halos, and it's doing great. You never saw so many ribbons and bows, on which Amelia has built a nationally acclaimed multi-million-dollar business. How'd she do it? It began when Amelia's own grandchildren were also forever pestering her about something pretty to wear in their hair.
So I began making all their bows, and everywhere they went, to church, just to town or wherever, everybody loved their bows. Where did you get those bows? So they became so popular that I decided, okay, I'll make bows.
So Amelia sashayed down to Walmart and invested $7.78 in ribbons and snaps, and then sold her homemade bows back to the store. That first Christmas, she cleared $1,700. Didn't take a CPA to tell Amelia she was onto something good. Almost too good. She was then 52 with no business experience and couldn't keep up with the orders.
And people were just coming in the door, and as soon as they saw what we had, some ladies would buy 6 or 8. And it was scaring me to death. I was wishing they wouldn't, because I was afraid I was running out of bows. I knew I was.
How did she solve that?
This is the first time I asked for help. I called my friends and neighbors and relatives, and would you ladies all like to make bows? Let's put together this. I believe it's going to be good.
It worked, but how does she keep up production? Working independently out of their homes, as in the old cottage industry days, small-time entrepreneurs design and manufacture their own bows, and then they sell them wholesale back to Amelia. Every 2 weeks, Benny and Eileen Fletcher, like nearly 500 other neighbors, sell their bows to Amelia.
We just needed to supplement our income, and this was a good way to do it.
My heart bothers me. I can't work for a company. So I'm about to go nuts hunting for something to do.
Something to do for the Fletchers means cranking out 2,000 to 3,000 bows every 2 weeks. Benny and Eileen even had to build an extension onto their house to keep up with all the bows.
If I get tired of making hair bows, I'll go fishing.
Amelia McCoy, CEO.
Earlier, Amelia was named the National Small Business Person of the Year. President Bush presented the award in the Rose Garden.
Bows that our company sells are handmade by 450 people in rural Oklahoma who work at home and generate $5 million in sales.
And I thought, he is calling my name. The President of the United States is calling my name. And he said,
maybe you should stand up so everybody can see you.
And I didn't know if I could stand or not. I kept thinking, I am going to wake up. This is not happening to me. And I left Washington, D.C., probably the happiest person that ever left Washington, D.C.
Today, Amelia is now negotiating to sell her bows worldwide. To meet that demand, she's moving to a larger plant, and she's hired 80 more neighbors to make bows. And look who I just happened to have found sitting here in the audience. Amelia, how's business?
Our business is doing great.
I knew you were going to say that. Today you hear about so many businesses going out of business, and you went out and got the American dream. How did you do that? What did you do that was different?
I think what I did that was different, I actually just threw myself into it.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it was something that was good. I actually was one of the first boat companies, I think, in America.
Do you think that the fact that you started this a little later in life, do you think that had anything to do with your success?
I really doubt that. I think anybody, any age, can do anything if they really want to. I think you need to be motivated. I think you need to be enthused about it. And I still am. I don't want to sleep.
You really are an inspiration to all of us. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And we will be right back.
I'm Becky Dixon. Coming up, an Oklahoman wins a national honor for small business achievement. Thanks for being with us. An Oklahoma grandmother has been named the National Small Business Person of the Year. Amelia McCoy went to Washington, D.C., one of 10 regional finalists, and returned to Oklahoma as only the second woman in history to win the Small Business Administration's top honor. Federal officials this week acknowledged the role small business plays in our economy.
Small business provides jobs for 50% of our nation's workforce, accounts for 39% of the gross domestic product and 44% of all consumer sales. So we are, small business people, the foundation of our nation's economy.
2/3 or more of the new jobs in this country, 2/3, are created by small business. And you are the heart and soul of what makes this economy work.
President Bush joined officials with the U.S. Small Business Administration for awards ceremonies at the White House Rose Garden. McCoy's company, Homemade Rainbows and Halos by Amelia, is based in Lamar in Hughes County and markets hair bows and accessories around the world. She began her business 13 years ago with an investment of under $10. Today, her company provides employment for several hundred people and annual sales exceed $5 million.
TV 9, the spirit of Oklahoma.
Welcome to TV 9 Morning with Kerry Robertson, Lynn Wagner, and meteorologist Gary Lezak with the weather.
And we'll find out how one woman turned her clever hobby into a money-making matter. Amelia McCoy has gone on to capture not only Oklahoma's Small Business Person of the Year, but our country's as well. It's all coming up today on TV 9 Morning. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to TV 9 Morning. 14 years ago, a farmer and rancher's wife, Amelia McCoy, designed some tiny hair bows for her granddaughters at her dining table. The cost, $7.68. Well, the rest is history, as they say. Her company, Handmade Rainbows and Halos, has become a multi-million-dollar business. And you're sitting there saying, gee, I wish I'd thought of that. Employing 900 people. Earlier this year, Amelia was chosen Oklahoma's Small Business Person of the Year. 2 weeks ago, she went to Washington, D.C. to receive the honor of National Small Business Person of the Year. We welcome from Lamar, Oklahoma, Amelia McCoy. Bravo, bravo. You had to be excited. This is great. I know everyone's sitting out there going, you know, there's always a better mousetrap, right?
Right.
And I guess when you started 14 years ago, it was kind of hard to find a selection of bows, much less something to put on a baby's head, right?
That's right.
And these were your infant granddaughters, and I think about the only thing they did back then is you put Scotch tape or something, made a bow, put tape on it, and then stuck it on their little bald heads.
Right. With Velcro or with a clip with
Yeah.
Velcro inside.
So tell us what happened at that point. So you made the bows for your granddaughters. Everyone admired them,
Right.
I assume. Make me one of those, make me one of those.
That's right. So immediately we began to go to pageants across Oklahoma in our area. And my little granddaughters were in the pageants as they got a little older.
Oh, that's why you were going.
Yes, and everyone liked our bows better than any they could find anywhere. So they said, hey, we like your bows. How are we going to get those? So immediately I began to take my bows to pageants, and I just sold out immediately. So with a lot of encouragement from my family, I began to design bows right through the night.
My word.
So it was really exciting for me. I always loved beautiful things, and I always thought little girls should look like a little girl. And if she's 6 months old or 60, she likes a bow. Makes her feel real feminine.
Oh, yeah. Even big girls.
Big girls. In
like
fact,
bows.
you need one in your hair right now.
Well, why, sure. I'll just pick one out here.
Well, of course.
Now, did you have any trouble getting started, or was this just you started small and it just eventually grew and grew?
No, I actually didn't have any trouble. I just, everywhere I went, they wanted bows, and now my youngest son had left home, and it was just my husband and I. So it was just something to do, and I loved it. It was really exciting, and there was a demand. Yes, I was one of the first ones that got the bow business going. In fact, as you know, we're in Walmart across the United States.
Yeah, that's a big deal. When did you get that?
Oh, within a year after I started making bows.
So people can buy your bows from coast to coast, right?
They can buy our bows, and if you're not wearing rainbows and halos, you're not wearing the right bow.
Let's take a look at some of these. This is the thing that you see on every baby. You know, these are the little things.
Right.
They go around their head and they stick right there. And this was your idea, right?
I started that
Oh, that's a great idea.
Ago.
You really do see them on all kinds of babies.
Right.
I mean, every baby just about. And we have a variety of bows, so you're just always coming up with new ideas. Do people come to you and say, hey, I've got a great idea for some bows? This one's really unusual.
That is
I like that.
for proms and around the holidays. That's real good.
A little bit of everything, and you can find them at Walmart and other stores.
Right. This is one of our bigger, newer bows.
Oh,
Very
that's
hot.
great.
Very good right now.
Well, congratulations to you. You brought your big trophy there. I know you had a wonderful experience and you visited with the President of the United States. Amelia, we're out of time. Thank you so much for coming and joining us, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We'll be right back.
It's been a pleasure.
Hi, I'm John Riso with John Deere Company, and you're watching the McCain brothers on 5 Alive. Good morning, Oklahoma.
Yeah, we plow deep while others sleep. Thank you, John. We appreciate it. With us this morning, I'm telling you, this is a proud Oklahoma. We should all be proud of this lady. This is Amelia McCoy. She is the National Small Business Person of the Year with her company, Rainbows and Halos. And we want to welcome you to Good Morning, Oklahoma. You look just great. Yes, you do. From Lamar. That's Lamar. That's near Holdenville, not that far from Holdenville. Now, Amelia started handmade rainbows and halos, according to USA Today, 14 years ago on a shoestring budget, $7.78. And last year, the company, which makes hair bows, posted a revenue of $5 million.
Whoa, $5 million. I'd say that's pretty good money.
How did you get started?
Well, how I got started, I've always loved to make beautiful things. And I think your home or wherever you are should be beautiful. And when I was a girl, I wore bows in my hair. My mother made my clothes, and I made a bow. So as years went by, I had a daughter. She had a bow for every little outfit that I made her.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm a seamstress also. And then when I had my first granddaughter, my daughter came and said, Mom, would you make Misty some bows? So immediately I had Kelly, Lindsay, and Shannon, and my granddaughters all had bows. So everybody that saw their bows liked them better than any bows they'd seen.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden I had bows everywhere, more than they could wear. So eventually I sought sales at beauty shops or wherever in our local area. And eventually I just walked right into Walmart at Holdenville. You don't do that today. I will tell everybody you don't do that. But anyway, through this contact, I met the district manager, Chuck Webb, in Oklahoma City at that time, Yukon. And he invited me to a district meeting. At this meeting, all the stores in his district wanted our bows. So they sent me on a Christmas promotion. This was December the 2nd. I'll never forget it. About 13 years ago now. And this was the first time in my life I had ever worked in the public. I'm a farmer and rancher. And now my children were all gone, so this was something to do. I just sat up right through the night. I got so enthused and so excited that I just didn't want to go to bed. And my husband thought he'd lost his wife.
Oh, is that right?
My children thought they'd lost Mom.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, it was really exciting. It was a beautiful thing to do, and I love to put colors together. So
We should look at some of
Yeah,
your
let's
bows
take a look
while
at some
you're-
of these.
While you're
And,
talking,
and
it really just started with you making bows for yourself, and then your daughter, and then your granddaughter, right?
right.
But these are lovely, and these are carried not only in Oklahoma Walmarts, but these are carried nationwide.
This is right.
And she's had the opportunity, Ben, to meet Sam Walton when he was living, and you got to give him a hug.
He gave me one.
Oh, he
gave you one, yeah. And you met his son here a few weeks ago, recently.
The 11th of June.
This is the award that you received. This is the United States of America Small Business Administration Award, and as the Small Business Person of the Year. And you were in the Rose Garden May 12th, and what was that like?
It was very exciting. I'll never forget this day. It was really hot, and we were all in the rose garden. The sun was leaking down. The president was standing maybe 8 feet from me. I thought, this is our president, and I am Amelia from Oklahoma.
Yeah, you're rubbing elbows.
I couldn't believe it. I was holding this award, and I thought, why not Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Why not me? You know, and it was really exciting. And he came down, and in fact, he had me to stand. He announced the award and what the small business today is doing for the whole United States. And I understand that most new jobs are generated through small business.
How many people do you employ down there?
We fluctuate. We are apt to have anywhere from 300 to 600 in peak seasons, and these are cottage industry workers. They all work in their home, and they are actually each one employed by themselves. And we buy their finished product. Everything we have is handmade, and they are very carefully monitored. The quality is in every bow. In fact, you may find these at any Walmart.
Yeah, well, these are made with love, it sounds like then.
There's a lot of love goes into these bows, and we have, I think our oldest person that's making bows is 85.
Oh, that's
And we have them as young as 8 or 10, just playing around with it. But a lot of people are actually supplementing an income for their family. And people are getting to do things in our area that they would not be able to do if it were not for Rainbows and Halos.
What's been your most difficult accomplishment, you feel?
Well, I feel probably I never was in the business field before. I was very uneducated. And I guess seeking a market in a rural Oklahoma area and probably overcoming the farmer rancher wife. I'd always worked in my home, on the ranch, on the farm. So now I was all of a sudden just plunged out into the world of business. And I will say it's been exciting. I've loved every moment of it.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of heartaches. There's been a lot of prayers. There's been a lot of things happen, but there's been so many good things happen. And I would advise anyone, if you want to do something, give it a try. Put yourself into it.
Congratulations.
Your company is called Rainbows and Halos,
yeah.
right?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, excellent.
We're very proud of you. Right after this. Don't go away. Thanks again.
As graduation nears for some ECU students, the thought of entering the workforce can be frightening, and making sure that these students get the acknowledgement they deserve, as well as helping others that are close to graduating, was the key message at a Business Administration Awards luncheon.
Cream de la cream, top to top, pick of the litter. We're proud of it.
And members of the business community, as well as state representatives and Oklahoma's Speaker of the House, Glenn Johnson, were there to show support. The featured speaker says that a college education in today's world goes a long way.
If they put that and couple it with hard work and desire, I would say there's nothing comes easy. There's not anything handed to you. I would tell these young people to give it their best, and whatever that might be.
The awards handed out today ranged from the Distinguished Graduate to various Outstanding Student Awards, and one student receiving an award says she's right on track.
Can't say that I feel really proud because I've just done my best. I've done my best. I've worked harder than anybody I know. I usually work about 80 hours a week on school and school projects, and I've already got jobs in line. I'm doing consulting work already, and so it's a good feeling, but I just feel like I'm doing the right thing.
The featured speaker today said a few words that everyone should think about.
When you ride over a problem today, you got through it, hey, I did it, it makes you stronger for tomorrow. I would say just don't give up, and don't ever give up on yourself.
In Ada, Cheryl Lackey, News Center 10.
Thursday, January 27th, 1994. Fighting crime in America, the nation's mayors plan for a legislative assault. Wheeling and dealing in Miami, how small business is a player at the convention where television programs are being bought and sold. and all wrapped up in ribbons and bows. The story of this morning of an Oklahoma woman turning a hobby into a booming business.
This is First Business Thursday, brought to you by Connecticut Mutual Life Insurance, the Blue Chip Company.
Still on the menu this morning, our Blue Chip Enterprise Initiative profile, a grandma's grand success. To Lamar, Oklahoma, to hear about a unique success story all wrapped up in a bow. When Amelia McCoy's children had grown up and left home, she decided to start a business. With startup capital of just $7.68 to buy some ribbons and thread, she got shelf space in her local Walmart. Now, Rainbows and Halos is a multi-million-dollar company. From Lamar, Oklahoma, we have our Blue Chip Enterprise Initiative profile this morning with First Business correspondent Everett Banning.
We've come out to watch these prize-winning show pigs being fed with Amelia McCoy, her son Benny, and his son Dudley. This is part of the normal routine on the McCoy Ranch near Lamar, Oklahoma, where Amelia shows how the small outbuilding where she started Rainbows and Halos has grown, one newly built room at a time, into one of America's most unusual manufacturers. These are Amelia's Rainbows and Halos, bound into bows like colorful butterflies.
There's just so much you can do for one man in a big house, and so I began to make bows. Within 6 months, everyone thought I had lost my mind. The whole house was covered with bows. Actually, they were even in the bathroom.
Amelia took her bows to the Walmart store near her ranch, and they agreed to sell them. Then more Walmarts put them on the shelves. Amelia wanted to distribute nationally, which she accomplished with personal presentations that included winning the support of the legendary Sam Walton.
He called me a renegade much like himself, I believe was the words he said once to me. He said, "You're a renegade much like I am. You won't stop. You mean to go on." And I met him later, and he always encouraged me, and he told me I was welcome with Walmart.
To satisfy the demand created by the 2,000-store Walmart chain and other stores, Amelia encouraged families in her part of Oklahoma to make the Rainbows and Halos in their homes. She supplies the materials, they the labor. Where did the capital for this growing business come from? It was all generated internally.
I've never borrowed a dime. I'm debt-free today. I don't owe anybody anything. I've never had to borrow any money.
The company became too big for the family to manage on its own.
They're under what they call a private label, which is a CC.
They recruited accountants and marketing professionals locally. After 14 years, this 67-year-old grandmother is the largest employer in Hughes County. She pays more than 600 people to do work for her. This is a multi-million-dollar company, and she's been honored by the president as America's Small Business Person of the Year, only the second woman to win this honor. On the farm where they've grown Rainbows and Halos. This is Everett Banning, First Business, near Lamar, Oklahoma.
And that is it for this Thursday morning, January 27, 1994. In Washington, I'm Bart Neckert. Have a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Take care.
This morning, we begin a 5-part series on women entrepreneurs, how they cope, and the challenges they face. First Business correspondent Kim Gordon looks at a new study which shows that women-owned businesses will employ more Americans by 1993 than all the Fortune 500 companies combined.
By the year 2000, women will own at least half of all U.S. businesses. Already, women entrepreneurs are emerging as a powerful and moving force in the economy, owning nearly 30% of all American businesses. And they're having a positive impact in all industries nationwide.
This year, for just the second time in history, the Small Business Administration has named a woman, Amelia McCoy, Small Business Person of the Year. Since 1978, this Oklahoma entrepreneur has grown her company from an initial investment of $7.83 to over $5 million in sales. And her company, Rainbows and Halos by Amelia, provides employment for over 600. A major finding of a watershed study conducted by the National Foundation for Women Business Owners reveals by 1993, women-owned businesses will employ more Americans than the entire Fortune 500 combined.
I never borrowed money. Every time I would sell anything, and believe me, for the first year, I didn't get any money. For the first 3 years, I didn't receive a check. From all sales, it would go right back into the business.
And finally, what we also found very interesting was that women-owned businesses tend to be more stable than all businesses. Less likely to fail, which is good, and we see a lot of employment in these stable businesses.
Today, women-owned businesses provide stable employment for 11 million American workers. Across the country and in all industries, women entrepreneurs are providing jobs and changing the face of American business. Kim Gordon, First Business.
Do you ever dream of becoming rich? If so, have you ever wondered how you could achieve that dream? If you have, there are a lot of people just like you. People who want to control their own destiny and become rich in the process. Owning or starting a business is the best way to make money in this country. Indeed, the typical millionaire is a self-made entrepreneur, an ordinary person who worked hard to build a business. In this program, U.S. News and World Report will introduce you to 5 people who own their own businesses. Most of them began with little more than an idea. Their stories will show you what it takes to start a business and how to figure out if your idea is a good one. You'll also hear how to find financing, how to face the inevitable obstacles, and how to deal with growth. And you'll see that what makes an entrepreneur isn't something that's in the genes. Mostly, it's a nerve to take a chance and the will to succeed. This is Holdenville, Oklahoma. It's farm country, but it's also home to an enterprise called Handmade Rainbows and Halos, founded more than a decade ago. It's a business that developed out of a childhood passion for making bows. Owner Amelia McCoy explains how it all began.
When I first started my business, because I didn't know it was going to be a business, I actually asked my husband for some money to go buy my first supplies, and he gave me $10. When I left the store, I had spent $7.68. So that is really what started my business.
Amelia's big break came when she got a chance to sell her bows in front of local Walmarts as part of a Christmas promotion.
I started the second day of December. I was booked every day till Christmas Eve. I made bows right through the night. I made them while we drove in the cars. Every day I was standing in front of a Walmart store. I made bows while the customers shopped. I would run back and buy ribbons, fashion bows while they shopped in the store. So when this promotion was over, I had cleared $1,700.
Today, Amelia provides work for 300 people and annual sales top $5 million.
In this warehouse that we're in right now, there's probably between 300 and 400,000 finished bows. These are all ready to be sent out, and hopefully will be sent out within the next 2 to 3 weeks. I had never had business training in my life. Actually, all my life, I got married when I was 16. I never went on to college. I never had any experience in the world of business. So I really didn't know anything about how to approach anyone to buy my bows. In fact, we live right in the middle of rural Oklahoma, and I didn't know where to buy supplies. I didn't know where to go to sell my bows. So through all of this, I learned that there's a big world out there. There's a lot that I didn't know. One morning, my husband called me at 5 o'clock in the morning and said, "You coming to bed tonight?" And I said, "Yeah, in a little bit." "What time is it?" He said, "It's 5 a.m. I didn't realize it was something I truly loved to do. I come up with most of the designs myself. If I sit down for 20 minutes by myself, we have a new bow. And I have about 5 or 6 women at home that comes up with beautiful ideas. If this woman brings a bow in, that bow is named after her. If her name is Susie, that's the Susie bow. We have them named Casey. We have them named, we just got so many names, and they're the ladies that made the bow.
Hi, Dina. Hi, Kara. How are you today? Okay. How many bows did you make today? Well, about 500. Well, good.
I come in and sign in and hang my bows and then get new supplies for the next 2 weeks and go back home.
We have people everywhere that advise us about new coming colors, styles, items across the whole United States. We do go to markets. I go to many markets myself. I see what the clothes are coming in. If clothes usually are on the shelves out in the store, if the colors are in and we don't have that color, we can have it within a week.
Amelia's learned a lot about business by being in business, and she has a lot to say to people thinking of starting one of their own.
Test the market first and see if it's something the public wants. And if it is, do the best job you can do. And you can't work at it 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Once you get into something, it's going to require all your time. If you're not working on it, you're thinking about it. You think of new designs while you're riding along, while you're doing dishes, whatever you're doing. This bow, one night, in my dream, when you have a business and you really care about your business, you even dream about it. So I dreamed that I made this bow, and it was a very good selling bow. Actually now, it's one of the highest class bows we have. You can wear this in your hair, you can wear it on a boot, you can wear it on a belt. I like this. I always thought in the whole United States, if something can be done, why can't I do it? If I wasn't doing this, I can think of 20 things I would be doing. First thing I would tell anyone, you must love to do what you're doing. You must know that it's a sellable product. You never quit or you never give up. If you have something you really like, you know it's going to sell, throw your whole self into it. You cannot listen to negative people. Everyone will say it's faddish, can't be done, it isn't done. It can be done. Life is way too short to sit around, waste your time, or just daydream. Get out and make those dreams come true.
Welcome to the Les Brown Show. We're going to meet some amazing women today and see some beautiful things they've made, like this doll. We call her sister. Now, these women started out with a hobby, and it ended up with successful businesses, for some of them worth over $1 million. Please welcome our first two guests, Amelia and Marcella. Now, Amelia's company, Rainbows and Halos, is a multi-million-dollar business today making beautiful bows. Now, looking at these bows, how did you start this whole thing?
Well, Les, I started this actually when I was a little girl. I always thought anything a girl could be prettier.
Yes.
If she's beautiful already, just a bow in her hair. So when I was a little girl, I made my own bows. My mother made my clothes. And then when I had a daughter, I made her bows for every little outfit she had.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have granddaughters.
You have granddaughters?
This actually started my business. I have 4 beautiful granddaughters.
And you started making it for your granddaughters.
I
now,
did.
You know, they said even grandmothers have dreams.
Grandmothers have always had a dream.
Things you want to do.
Things that we want to do. Often we never do because we feel like we can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I'm a grandmother, but I was 53 actually when I started this business.
Now, how did you get started? What did you do?
Okay, my daughter wanted me to make some bows for my first granddaughter. And I made them, and everybody liked her bows better than what they could buy. And every bow I made for about 2 or 3 years was different bows. I never made two alike. So I began to go to pageants. The demand was great. My little granddaughters by now were in dance recitals and pageants and all this stuff. So I designed their bows to go with their costumes, and I made them for other mothers. And the demand was so great, I said, there's something out there. I never really thought about starting a business. It's just something that happened.
So what did you do when you realized that there was something out there and that people wanted your bows? What was the next step that you took?
Well, I thought, all right, first I was giving all these bows away, and I thought, why not go to craft shows, you know, and sell these? So all of a sudden I was going to craft shows, and my bows just went. Everybody else had all their things on their tables, and my bows were gone.
And people just came by and purchased your bows.
That's right. And so from that I thought, why not? Why not do something with this?
What I'm really curious about, you know, all of your bows, they're in Walmarts all across this country, right?
Almost.
Right. So how did you do that?
Well, actually being ignorant, not knowing that you can't do something.
It's called intelligently ignorant. You didn't know you couldn't do it, right?
I didn't know I couldn't, and I hadn't been told that I couldn't. So, like I always say, ignorance is bliss sometimes.
Yeah.
So I went into my first Walmart store, asked for the manager. I didn't know there was a corporate office. I mean, this is how dumb I guess I really was in the business world. And I said, could you sell my bows in your store? And he said, well, I'd love to, but I can't. I have a district manager. I have to go through, and I don't know. So I said, where's your district manager? And he said, well, he's out of Oklahoma City, actually. Yeah. And so through this, I went ahead and finally got a hold of this Chuck Webb.
Yeah.
And I said, Chuck, would you sell my bows? And he said, well, they're beautiful. Come to a district meeting. Now, this was about 13 years ago. You don't do that today with Walmart.
Yeah.
And actually, he gave me the chance, and so I sold my bows in his store in the Oklahoma City area.
How well did they do?
They did so well, I sold them from tables. He sent me on a Christmas promotion. I stood in front of the Walmart stores, and I sold bows off the table. Actually, I would make bows while a lady was shopping. I would
Isn't this amazing?
I would greet the customers as they came in. I'll let them know, hey, this is real. I'm really doing this by hand. I'll make your bows while you're shopping. I'd run back and buy ribbons and laces while they were shopping, and I fashioned bows. I actually did weddings while they'd be shopping, or they'd come back that night and pick up the bows.
So you started your business, and how many people do you employ now?
Oh, I would say anywhere from 350 to 600 people.
Now, when we look at your bows, are these bows just for little children, or are they for adults too? Do women
They're
wear?
for every age. We have them from babies with no hair at all to the very sophisticated ladies.
Now, that's one you have on.
Yes.
Did you make that one?
Yes.
Yeah, stand up and turn around so the audience can see that. That's unique. All right. You can wear them all kind of ways now. Yeah. Thank you. But you haven't come up with bows for men yet.
Yes, I have.
You have bows for men?
We have made bow ties.
Okay. Well, next time we'll wear one on the show.
We make bows for our shoes.
Yes.
If there's a bow, we make it. If it's pretty, ours are prettier.
And, I love it.
I would like to tell a lady, if you don't have a bow, it's a shame. And if it's not my bow, it's a sin.
I love your modesty. Marcella, our next guest.
I think the biggest obstacle I overcame, I was always a farmer's wife. Lived on a ranch in Oklahoma, and I raised my children. I had no experience at all. And being from the rural area that I was in, finding a market, finding a place to purchase supplies.
I would like to know if you had to...
Writing the book, because your creativity and determination should be written and studied by many, many people for its success. Have you been thinking about that?
Yes, and how you did it? Yes, Amelia?
I do plan to write a book. In fact, I have 2 or 3 in my mind, and one started, one about life after 50. That's your greatest years. I'm here to tell you that.
Yeah. Investment.
I actually started my business with about $7. And for 3 years, every time I would sell anything, I would turn the money over, put it right back. I didn't rush out and get all those beautiful things a woman wants.
Yeah.
So I put it right back into my business, and I can say today I've never had to borrow any money.
So you encourage people, if you're home thinking about going into a business, don't overburden yourself.
Right.
Just take the money and put it right back in business. We'll be back with more for you after this break. What do you say to the people out there over 50 who have dreams, have ideas, have passions that they're not acting on? What would you say to them?
I would say if you believe in yourself and you don't listen to negative people, the world's full of negative people. So you keep motivating by enjoying what you're doing, throwing yourself into it, and then the rewards, the people you meet, the money that comes in, it keeps you motivated.
Yeah, with her.
I think everybody that wants to do anything, once they start it, they feel threatened, they feel fearful. They don't know where to go. Like myself, I was pioneering a business. I was a woman, and I was over 50. And I went to the bank, and they agreed they'd loan me up to $1 million. I understood later they laughed and said, bless her heart, she thinks she can do something. So we're not going to, we're not going to lose money because she's not going to need it. But I didn't have to go to them, and now we're okay with them.
Yeah, I can imagine so. Our guests today have proved that if you have an idea or a passion or a hobby you feel very strongly about, if you start working with it, that it's possible that you can create your own business. It's necessary that you get some help and some support, that you be resilient, that you come back again and again and again. And it's hard. It's not going to be easy, but it most certainly is worth it. And if you've been inspired to do something, hey, why don't you let us know? Call us or write us, and next time we have you on the show. This is Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy, Leslie Calvin Brown, saying, see you next time.
Well, it began as a simple idea and turned into thousands of jobs.
A Lamar, Oklahoma grandmother's love of making bows gets her national acclaim as Small Business Person of the Year. Amelia McCoy is a prime example of the can-do spirit in tonight's success story.
I was a farmer's wife, and I raised 3 children. I gave them my whole life. And when they were all gone, this just happened. We have them with conchos, we have them on bandana, we have dinner. We've done absolutely millions of these. They're called worry people. This is cow print or Dalmatian. Right now it's one of the hottest things across the whole United States. See how pretty that would be on Karen's suit? Ours are the best made bows there are. They're all handmade right here in Oklahoma. How about that?
Made by women like 74-year-old Ruth McCoy at her leisure.
Always just something that for pastime, more or less, for me.
For Wren Blankenship, it's much-needed funds for the family and a lifestyle.
If I was an outside of the home mom having to work, all the money I'd make would go to pay for doctor bills from putting my kids in daycare, and this way I can take care of my kids, and I love it.
Those are the same stories you'll hear from more than 600 women who make 50,000 bows a week for Amelia. That's a lot considering the company started on Amelia's kitchen table in 1978. Her investment, $7.68.
Right now we have about 5 different ribbon companies that come to see us. But when I first began this business and I would call on a ribbon company, they didn't give me the time of day.
A local Walmart gave Amelia her big break.
So anyway, I'd stand in front of their stores and sell bows, and I knew what everybody wanted. And they loved our bows because they was handmade.
Today, Amelia is in close to 1,300 Walmarts. Rainbows and halos can also be found in Albertsons, Homeland, and specialty shops under a private label. Sales are expected to hit $8 million this year.
All this success launched Amelia into the limelight as winner of the Small Business Person of the Year in the United States for 1992-93.
And the sun was streaming down through those beautiful cherry trees. There was President Bush, and he said, "Ann, I want to congratulate Amelia McCoy from Oklahoma." And I thought, he's talking about me. And I thought all of a sudden, why not Oklahoma? Why not me?
You know, it's a family business. They all chip in. These are some examples of their work. And you need to run into Walmart and some of your favorite stores, and you'll see them hanging there under rainbows and halos. And
600 women making those.
Yes, and some of them make 150 a day.
Yeah. You know, one thing we ought to do is, because Lamar's like Quad City, it's not real large, kind of tell them where Lamar
well,
is.
that's like, okay, if you go down there towards Holdenville, keep going, it's down there. I mean, it's out in the middle of nowhere. Their business has been such a success that they're now, instead of a gravel road, it was too hard for the trucks, they've got a little paved road. It helps,
for them.
but they're
Good
doing
story.
great.